the end of the duel you're another month older, and the entry you played in just came in last place. It's guitar tone, it's the bass, and the feedback you're getting's not working. One more duel, sliding left, it's a disgrace. I should go back to lurking. At the end of the duel your arrangement is weaker, and the 2 minutes feel like they go for too long. But in Hackstock kicking ass, Eric and Numa Joe's medals are clinking. Corey Johnson's coming up fast, and bigger on. I should go back to drinking. At the end of the duel there's another thing coming, and I've got an idea that fits like a glove. I can mash up these two songs, and I just need someone else to mix it. It might be 8 minutes long. If this clicks, I'm sure we can fix it, and it's gonna sound real fucking cool at the end of the duel.
Good evening or afternoon or whatever time of day it is where you are. As I screw it up right off the bat. Welcome everyone to the Dwelling of Duels banner art breakdown stream. I am your host, Jinx, and I'm here with our artist, Meldecision. And we're going to be talking about the banner art for the April 2026 Tornado of Solos for the theme song for Solstice for the NES. So how are you doing tonight, Mel?
Doing okay. Actually had to turn my AC on because it was so
good
dang
heavens.
warm today. In contrast to how cool it's been.
I'm so sorry to hear that. I had the window open for a while today, but probably shouldn't have.
Oh god, pollen.
No, raining, chilly. It was around like low 60s Fahrenheit.
Okay.
So anyway, we're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about your work. So first off, why don't you introduce yourself? Give us your artist bio.
Cool. I'm meldecision. Been doing DoD since last year, I think last year, something like that. And I like to draw on my tablet.
Excellent. So how long have you been drawing?
I've been an art kid my whole life. So definitely started drawing at a young age. Did a lot of drawing in high school. Less so in college. I actually ended up doing a lot of printmaking in college, which was very fun and I missed dearly. And then kind of not a lot of art for a while. I picked up an iPad again a couple years ago, started digitally drawing in Procreate, and I have pretty much been like consistently drawing since. I probably draw every day at this point.
Nice. So let's talk video games. For those who may not know about Dwelling of Duels, in case you're here from another source or anything, Dwelling of Duels is a monthly video game arrangement competition that is to a theme, with the main requirement being that the main instrument has to be performed live, recorded live. So we're all into video games here. What are your favorite types of video games?
Yeah, I'm an RPG nerd for sure. I am definitely a single player gamer unless we're in a room together, in which case I think gaming is like gaming with other people is fun, but I've like never been able to get into any sort of online gaming. I love the classics. I love Chrono Trigger, the whole, Super Nintendo, Final Fantasy Suite, Suikoden, are also like some of my favorite games in that series. Currently replaying Horizon Forbidden West for the like fourth or fifth time. And yeah, trying to figure out what I'm going to play next. Because this past year, like, I played Assassin's Creed Shadows and Ghost of Yotei, which were like kind of fun to do one after the other. But yeah, not sure what I'm going to do next.
I am incredibly envious because my copy of Horizon Forbidden West is still in shrink wrap.
Oh no!
So I'm looking forward to it at some point, but yeah, I may have to get around to it sooner rather than later.
That's very fun.
Nice. So as has been pointed out in the chat, your first entry on DoD was in 2024. September 2024. Was that around the time that you discovered the community?
So I had heard about it for a while. My video game music experience, I feel like, started with OC Remix back in when I was in high school, so in the early 2000s. And I had actually had a video game music radio show in college for, I think I did that for 2 semesters, that particular theme.
Nice.
Which was super fun. But I don't think I heard about D&D until probably, I don't know, maybe 2022, 2023. It was something that I had meant to get around to like joining for a while, but the focus on live instruments, I think, is always kind of my biggest challenge, especially since like I'm a drummer. I don't have a setup for drum recording. And I do a lot of work digitally. So like I do a lot of entering notes into a piano roll in my DAW, like directly, like not even like using a keyboard most of the time. But it has gotten me definitely to like bring out my keyboards more. I have like one of the like MK minis, the tiny ones. And then I have a like cheap Casio tone that I picked up for practice, and so that's been like a good motivator.
Nice. What has been your favorite month so far?
Ooh, great question. Let me look at the ones that I've done. Oh, maybe Party Month. That was a lot of fun. I did a Yoshi's, I did a Mario Party song, one of the Yoshi
Nice.
themes.
Nice.
And so it was just like super fun to work on and like very fun to listen to for way longer than I should have.
Awesome. So let's talk a little bit about art. So you mentioned your history of printmaking and everything in college. What other media do you play around in?
So I mean, I do a lot digitally. I actually just picked up some of these acrylic paint markers that I've been playing with now for like 2 days. Just because I wanted to like do something colorful. I do a lot in like when I'm drawing, I do a lot just in like black and white, just like sketching. And so I've been attempting to do more colorful stuff recently. And
That's
yeah.
That's pretty cool. I was just admiring those markers, because when you say acrylic paint markers, I think of stuff like what are they called? The big thick ones.
Oh,
and those
the
look
Copic markers.
Oh, even bigger than that.
Oh.
Like, what are the ones that you kind of have to dot onto a page to make the color flow out?
I know what you mean.
But anyway, those look like they're much better for fine work.
Yeah, they've got like a nice there's like a tip end that's more of like a pen marker, and then there's a brush end, which is really nice.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Yes, thanks to Sydney Cart in the chat. Posca paint pens, which I haven't used, but I have, seen on YouTube.
Yeah, I haven't used them either.
And Evil Sonic in the chat was asking about printmaking. Do you want to just give a little description of kind of how that works?
Yeah, so I've done a couple different kinds, but the like main thing is you paint or draw onto a surface, and then you transfer it onto paper, usually via a press or via like a lot of chemical processes. But I've mostly done like block carving, so like lino cut. I've done a tiny bit of wood cutting, but it's hard. And you can get these like really easy little like stampy kind of things to carve, and those are easy too because you just like use them more like a stamp rather than needing like a press. I also have done some monotype, which is where you like paint onto a plate and then run it through a press. You can either do it dry. I've done some watercolor monotype, which was very fun. Really loved it because it was like such like a different medium for me, and you're like printing it onto damp paper. Yeah, you like paint onto the plate, you let it dry, and then you transfer it onto damp paper, and it picks it up really nice, and it gives this like really cool watercolor effect. And you can usually get like 2 prints out of it. You get like one main print, and then you get like a second kind of ghost print. So it is like one of the nice things about like block printing is that you just do it over and over, and you can get a bunch of prints out of the same blocks. But with monotype, it's really like a one-off kind of process. You're making something unique that you can't really recreate.
That's interesting. So when you're doing a watercolor type print like that, what's the plate? Like, what's it made of? What's it look like?
Yeah, so it's usually like some sort of plexiglass kind of situation, or like glass. I'm trying to remember which I did.
Interesting. Are there any particular challenges, beyond the obvious with working in that type of media?
So I'm very impatient, and it takes a little while to dry. So there's a lot of like, you paint a little bit, you sit, you like paint a little bit, you sit. Also, like, I feel like watercolor is just like a very challenging medium. It's hard to control because it's water, and water kind of does what it wants to do. And so like I found the most success when I kind of embrace that, and rather than trying to do something very specific, just like let it be really loose, which is something I kind of struggle with in general with art, is like letting it be loose. But it can get some pretty cool effects.
Yeah, I can definitely imagine, and especially if you're painting watercolor onto a glass or plexiglass plate, I'm sure it takes 5 times as long to dry as it does on paper or canvas or whatever.
Yeah, it takes a while. Hey, finding the flow state. Yeah. Yeah, and you it's like kind of harder to tell the like color buildup that you get because you're painting it onto like a transparent surface. And so you're like not necessarily going to see exactly how it's going to turn out until you actually print it. And then like how damp your paper is might also impact like how things like bleed or like blend together. So
on the other hand, this sounds like something that might be easier for the average person to be able to do at home, instead of having kind of a facility for dealing with, woodblock prints with, specific tools and such. I mean, is there anything more specific than that involved in the actual printmaking part of it?
So you're still going to want to press, especially with watercolor. You like need the pressure to pink up the pigment from the plate. Although there's like a bunch of like home press like little guys that you can get now. When I do stuff at home, I have this thing called a Baron. It's like a little like round thing you press to like transfer ink onto your paper instead of like a press that you roll. And it's definitely not as effective as a press. The like pressure from a press really helps transfer stuff. So I feel like my ideal situation is still being able to do it in a studio where I have access to that.
Sure. And as you mentioned, that was more of a university thing. So you did mention that you do a lot of digital art these days. Anything else really catching your eye aside from the acrylic markers lately?
I keep meaning to pick watercolor back up. and then I don't. I'm actually doing my first art market next month, and so I've been
Hey,
doing
awesome.
a lot of stuff from that. I'm going to be making some stickers and some keychains, and then I have a bunch of prints I'm going to get printed. I really need to like get on top of that. I've been very much in the like indecision phase of like, oh no, what should I do? Like, what should I print? Yeah. So I need to do that. I'm getting a little bit overwhelmed with the like logistics of it all. But I'm hoping like once I get it down we'll get one down and it'll be okay.
Sure. And there's definitely people in the DoD server as well as elsewhere who have done this type of thing before. So we'd be happy to give you tips in the Discord.
Tips.
So where is this market going to be?
So it is. So I'm in Philadelphia. This particular market is the South Street Pride Night Market on June 6th, I think.
That sounds pretty awesome.
I think June 6th. That's Saturday. And then I just signed up for the July punk rock flea market in Philly.
Oh, nice.
So we'll see how it goes.
Well, best of luck to you on those. That sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun.
I hope so.
So we've talked media a bit. Do you want to talk a little bit about your style? What types of things you like to draw, paint, whatever?
Yeah,
generally how you like to depict it, that type of thing.
Yeah, that's always been kind of like the question for me. I've like I did a lot of like shitty anime drawing in high school, and middle school and college. And so when I picked art back up, I was doing a lot of like fan art stuff, and so I've done like quite a bit of fan art in the past couple years, but I have also been trying to do more like real life studies. I did an October thing. Why am I blanking on the name? Stilltober. So it was still lives in October, kind of like Inktober, but I wanted to do stuff that was like colorful, and I liked the challenge, and so I did a still life every day for October, and then kind of didn't stop. So I've done a lot of like food and drinks, honestly a lot of food and drinks. Like currently drawing a croissant.
Yeah,
like
I remember
some plants. I did like some holiday stuff. I've done a few animals. I think I enjoy the like food and drink stuff the most.
I remember you were sharing a number of those Stilltober images in our Discord server, and man, it made me so hungry and thirsty every time you did, because those were just fantastic.
Yeah, it was hard to do because everything is so delicious. Although the thing I'm working on right now is a croissant that I got yesterday at a local cafe, so at least I got to eat the croissant.
Ah, nice. So you get the memories.
Yeah, rather than just like a photo from like Unsplash. So
nice.
Which is like a lot of what I draw from is just like free stock photos from Unsplash.
And what kind of croissant was it?
So it was a black sesame and something. Let's see if I can. Work in progress. I don't know how well you can see that. I need to like look at.
Oh man, but that does look good.
A sugar with black sesame, and then it had this like black sesame tahini filling or something. It was really good.
That looks fantastic.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try to finish this one up tonight.
Nice. How long does it take you to do art like that?
It depends. Some of them I feel like I like get done pretty quickly. Especially if I am going for like more of a kind of like a loose style a little more graphic. I can go a little faster. With the stuff where I'm like kind of like mimicking like an oil painting or like an acrylic painting, usually takes me a little longer because I am focused on getting some of those details in. So probably anywhere from like an hour and a half to, I don't know, many hours, depending on how ambitious I'm being. But I usually get stuff done within a day or two. Sometimes I will draw during meetings at work that I don't need to actually participate in. I just need to listen to, and that actually, like, I find that helpful for actually engaging and listening. So take that, my 7th grade English teacher who used to mark me down for drawing in class. It's actually quite helpful for paying attention.
I fully agree. And fortunately, that's less restrictive in schools these days, I think.
That's good.
Well, I think it's fantastic that you've been so regular with your art, especially since, you did this Stilltober challenge. Was Tornado Solos the first time you were asked to do banner art for Dwelling of Duels?
Yes, it was my first time.
So, set the scene for us. You've just been asked to do the banner art for Tornado of Solos, a special mid-month competition for the theme for Solstice for the NES, which I, for one, had pretty much never heard of aside from people sharing it as a meme on the Solstice on the Discord. So you've been asked to do this banner art. What was your reaction?
First of all, I was like, "Oh, sweet!" I've like heard of the game, but I had never like seen it. The cover art is pretty amazing because it like very much has that like ridiculous NES like. There's like a buff wizard on it.
Yeah.
And I like listened to the theme song and I was like, or like the opening song, and I was like, this goes way harder than it needs to. It's so good. So I ended up doing like a watch through of someone like streaming the game, just to get a sense of like what it was, how it worked, the mechanics. Looks hard. The person doing it made it not look hard, but it looks hard.
So for those of us who don't know anything about Solstice, how does it work? What kind of game is it? How does it play?
It's like a puzzle, jump around, figure things out, going from like room to room. I wish I had actually played it, but it looked
not always
really
easy
good. Like I feel like graphically, like it looked like just like a really nice like early pixel game, better than a lot of other like NES games that I've seen. And yeah, it slapped.
Cool. All right, so you have provided tonight some progress images, some works in progress, some alternative concept sketches that you did in preparation for the banner, as well as some in-progress pictures. Would you like to walk us through what we've shown here?
Yeah. I'm on a little bit of delay, so I don't actually know which one we're looking at right now, but I'm assuming the like first image. Yeah, there we go. Okay. my first instinct was this like kind of psychedelic wizard singing notes, and I thought it was that was like the first thing that popped into my head, and so I just like scribbled it down super fast just to like kind of get that idea out. But I also wanted to explore a couple other ideas and not just go with the first thing in my head. So if we go on to the next image, which will hopefully happen, I started sketching out two other ideas. One was kind of based on the art of the game, and yeah, this one was based on the art of the game. I figured it would be like a dark background, and going with the game has a lot of like bright greens in it, and so I would like kind of mimic the game style, but just like illustrate it rather than doing pixel art. I also did a wizard in a tornado. I thought it would be fun to combine the like wizard character of Solstice with like an actual tornado. And I did another take on this this like psychedelic wizard singing with the like swirly eyes. And so I like took those like super fast sketches and turned them into some thumbnail sketches where I like applied some colors, got a better sense of the layouts of them, while still staying like very low fidelity.
Just getting a basic idea of what you're trying to get across there.
Yeah.
I like the tornado wizard. That's a nice touch.
Yeah. I thought that one would be fun. Playing on both, tornado of solos, bringing it in. And I feel like the cover art, the wizard is like blasting lightning or something, and so like kind of felt like it would work.
Yeah.
And so then I started just applying some like basic colors, kind of refining the layout a little bit more, still keeping it like really like fast and loose, just to get across the concept and the layout, and start kind of like planning what it could be. This wizard I did like so fast, just trying to like figure out like what it should be, like how it should be framed. Like there's got to be room for text in it somewhere. Thinking about that.
Okay, I don't know if this was intentional, but I love how the sleeve has his right sleeve lines up with the lightning bolt.
Yeah. I think that was a happy accident. I think I had like sketched it, and then they ended up becoming the same line.
Nice.
Evil Sonic.
All right, we're just gonna
behind the scenes in my ears.
Yeah, we are taking another look at the isometric style concept image here.
Yeah, so this is like what the game looks like. I took a bunch of screenshots of the game itself, and then like kind of like mixed and matched some elements to get this like layout that I thought would work very well in a square.
It
I mean,
really
it all
does.
works well in a square because it was a square layout, but like, yeah, I really like the isometric look of the game.
Yeah, it's very nicely framed, and I love those goofy-looking trees bordering it.
I don't know.
And I think it should be a shirt.
Also hear Evil Sonic right now, but he's saying it should make a shirt, and so maybe I'll make a shirt version of this. I'll just do like a cleaner version of it.
Don't get rid of the smiley face, though. I think that's essential.
I was just like, I need to fill in some space. Here's a smiley face. So when I brought it into Procreate, so I had talked, I'd like talk through which concept we should go with, and the like wizard was kind of the top choice, and I was like, okay, maybe my first idea was like the one, and so I just like took it into to Procreate and started refining it. I've been doing kind of this weird process recently where I do like anything with like a graphic element. So like usually I'm a designer by trade, so I do a lot of stuff in Figma. I do a lot of stuff in like Photoshop and Illustrator. And usually like when I'm doing something like this, I'll like do it in Illustrator, like vector, and like do the type there. And so I like I've been doing this lately where I'll just like export my Procreate file, drop it into Illustrator, do the type, export just the type, drop it into Procreate, and then draw over it to get kind of like a hand-drawn effect.
Okay.
And so I ended up doing that with this like tornado of solos here. Or like drew it out, and then I like drew like a little outline behind it. I tried a couple like of these like gradients inside of it, and ended up going with the green and the blue because there ended up being so much of the like pink and the purple and the like orange in the background. I thought it
Okay,
worked
yeah.
better.
It looked. I think it looks like the layer above the one that's selected, kind of
Yeah.
a red and yellow tone. And I
Yeah,
guess
I
you
tried
decided
the hot dog one.
I love it. I love it. Well, I'd definitely say it was a good choice what you ended up going with. It contrasts nicely with that area of the image anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, what else did I do? I do a lot of like clip layers. So I can like draw inside of stuff without going outside the lines.
Mhm.
Especially like when I'm doing something like this where I like want to keep some colors separate rather than like blending them. Usually when I do any sort of line art, I will break things up by colors and then also by like depth. Just to like keep it all even and make sure I'm not like messing up.
So, did you go to university for this?
No, I was actually a government major.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is kind of all self-taught, or
Yeah. I started doing. I mean, I've always been like an internet kid as well as an art kid, so I did a bunch of like web design, making like terrible, just like plain HTML sites as a kid, and just kind of like continued doing that. Did some web design in college, got an internship at a local agency doing web design stuff, and then it just kind of went on from there. So it's very much like learn on the job kind of situation.
okay. We have a good suggestion in the chat. If you like printmaking, you might like the True Grit texture supply brushes
I
for
use
Procreate.
those brushes all the time.
Nice.
Yeah, I love those brushes. I have way too many of their brush sets, and they're like texture sets. They're so good. They're so good. I think I got like an Instagram ad for them at some point, and I like immediately had to buy them, and I've been using them like ever since. They're so good. Yeah, I use them for a lot of things where I have line art for sure, and for a lot of like texture building.
Okay. Excuse me for a moment while I just write some notes over here. So, what are some other favorite brushes?
Ooh, so I have a lot from the True Grit Texture Supply Co. So I have the Rusty Nib is the set that I think the Rusty Nib and Monomania are my two big for inking. I have the Jing Paint brush set. I use the Sketch Round a lot for sketching. Although recently, so I picked up this Epic Pastels kit from Itai Monero, and the sketch pencil in there is really nice, and so I've been using that a lot too for sketching. I have a lot of Itai Monero's brush sets for Procreate. His pastel one I really like. He actually does in October he does Brushtober, and so I have 2021, 2, 3, 4, and 5 of those.
Wow.
Yeah, and 5 had a lot of like really fun kind of like textural things too. So I've been trying to use those recently. The drawing I posted on Instagram today, I think. Today was using some of his brush sets, or some of his brushes from this 2025 Brushtober set. Let's see. I've been using this Sargent's Oils brush set. I actually think it was like maybe free. Like maybe just like downloaded it in the Procreate site. They have like forums where people will just like put up their brush sets. I use that one like all the time. And then the other brush maker I really like is Angry Miko. I picked up his most recent oil brush set, and those have been really fun too. Those are much more like macro level. So like you really like you gotta like zoom out and focus on the big picture. Yeah. Sargent, whatever.
Okay. Sergeant's Oils.
Yeah, I really like that one. There's like a wet bright brush in it that I use for like a lot. Just that. Yeah, I don't use the wet ones in that one as much. There's like a wet filbert and like a wet flat, and I tend to use the dry brushes a little bit more. And then I have a couple different watercolor kits, which are always fun to like digitally mimic. Like I feel like water especially is hard, but there are some really cool brush sets that like kind of like let you mimic some of the effects that you get from watercolor in cool ways. The one that I use a lot now it's just called AF watercolor. I forgot where I bought it from. It might be actually named somewhere.
Yeah, watercolor AF.
It is watercolor AF. Okay. AF is just, I guess, just the person who made it. Watercolor brushes for Procreate by Adelson Farias.
That's a posh sounding name.
Yeah. But it also comes with this like PDF that goes over each of the brushes.
Oh, that's
and, like,
cool.
Kind of tells you like what use cases you would have for them. They're cool. I like them a lot. I definitely feel like I'm still kind of like learning how to use them best. I don't use as many of the like brushes I think in the set as I should. But it's you can get some pretty cool stuff with it.
So, how often are you trying new brushes in Procreate and
Yeah.
going back to other brushes? How many brushes do you have?
I can't even answer that question. It's like bad enough that like Procreate like had its own brushes, and then the most recent update actually added an entirely new brush library and also like way to manage brushes. And like a lot of those new brushes are also like really cool. And so I've been like trying to play with those. So I have like the classic Procreate brush set and all of those. I have the new Procreate library and all of those. Yeah, I pick up brushes like somebody picks up guitars. Hundreds of brushes. some of them like I download them and I use them like once or twice and then like forget about them, and then eventually I'm like, what is this? And then like sometimes I like rediscover them and I'm like, oh, actually this was really cool. I totally forgot this existed. And then like some like are like very like single use. Like I have like a hair brush set that has like arm hair, thick arm hair directional, chest hair, eyebrow hair. And I don't use those very often, but they do come in handy when I need them. I have some freckle brush sets too that I'll use when I'm doing like fan art that's useful. I have some like clouds, some bubbles. I found some good bubbles, which has been useful painting drinks because painting bubbles is terrible.
Able Sonic, get a hold of yourself. I
Yeah.
well, at least I mean, if you have a specific need, a piece of art that calls for chest hair, sometimes you just gotta draw what's his name, Gaston,
Yeah. You just gotta
popping the
layer
buttons.
that chest hair on thick. You don't want to draw those individual hairs, one by one.
That is very true.
I have a couple nature sets like that too, that are just like groups of like leaves and whatnot. Derek's anime set, I don't remember where I picked that up. Has some decent like foliage stuff in it. And
Grass. Best grass brush.
That one?
No, tell me, what's your best grass brush?
So yeah, either this Derek's anime set or where is it? I like organized my library, and now I can't find anything. Okay, what is it called? Let's see. Let me open up one of the brushes. It's like a nature brush pack by Eldar Zakharov. Oh, and I think I have a paint set from him too. Honestly, a lot of how I find brushes is either like finding free ones from like where people have like posted them on the Procreate forums, or going through Gumroad. Gumroad has all the good brushes, I feel like.
Okay. That's comics site, isn't it?
It's just like I don't know if it has traditionally been comics, but I've gotten a lot of I think mostly just brush sets off of it.
Just taking some more notes for myself here. Thank you for sharing those links in the chat, and a hats off to Darmok in the chat saying that she drew every blade of grass on an album cover once.
Oh my god. Intense.
Incredible. So, yeah. Grass, definitely worth getting brushes to handle that. So thank you for the links. Definitely going to be checking that out later. Is there a type or medium of art that you'd like to either try and you haven't before, or something that you'd like to do more often?
Ooh, I mean, I miss printmaking a lot. I've done some workshops. I haven't found any, like, there was a studio I really loved in Boston when I was there, Mix It, and they did a bunch of different kinds of workshops. That's where I got to do some watercolor monotypes. But since moving to Philly, I feel like I haven't really found a place yet, and so I'm like definitely looking for places doing printmaking classes. I got to do like a small one at I forgot the name of a gallery, but it's not far from me. And they did like this like a little like printmaking class for it's the 250th anniversary of the founding of America, and so like Philly is doing a bunch of stuff, and so like there's this show of just like a bunch of people from Philly who just like made these little prints. They're like they were all like super small, like kind of like card size, and so I did one for that, and that was fun. I would love to do some actual physical oil painting. I have like no experience with it. It feels like a thing that's like very intimidating to do at home because like it requires so many supplies, like cleaning everything sounds really difficult. So I'd like to do some classes, I think would be really cool. Especially because I think like doing more physical art would help improve my approach to digital art. especially when I'm like trying to like mimic these traditional styles. Fun story. I actually really love the smell of paint thinner. It's like one of those things that like brings me back to the printmaking studio. Yeah, Mel, fun fact. I like to sniff some paint thinner, I guess.
Nice.
Yeah, I just want to do more stuff like in person. And also more stuff with color. Like I feel like I've gotten better at hitting more realistic colors, but I still do like a lot of like turpentine. Awesome. I do a lot of like color picking still, rather than just like using my color wheel and being smart about color theory. Especially like when I'm working from a reference, I want to get better at like taking the reference and then enhancing the colors and like doing more like hue shifting. I feel like I need to do a lot more focus on like values, so like light and dark, and like the like trick to like changing colors is to keep the relative value, so like the level of darkness, but like different colors, you can't just like move your color picker, because different colors actually like have different inherent values. Like blues can have like a much larger value range than like a yellow or something, which is like very bright, but then like the second you start to get dark, it's like very muddy. And then there's like, so the interesting thing about color is that it's entirely fake. Everything about color is fake. If I were to ever write a book on design, the color chapter would be color is fake. Because like you look at like two colors independently and you like have a sense of what that color is. You put them next to each other and suddenly they're like both totally different colors. And like you layer like one color over another color. Like you take like a, like a super hot saturated red, and then you put like another like red, but it's super desaturated, like much more gray. Oh God, not the dress. No,
we are not going to get into the dress.
it looks like it could be like blue. So color is fake, and I would like to master its magical properties.
Well, I can definitely say that the Bob Ross Joy of Painting starter set is really an excellent way to kind of get your toes wet for oil painting.
Okay.
I did that. Family member had bought the set, and so I gave it a try when I was visiting once, and oil painting is definitely a lot of fun. So I do encourage giving it a try if and when you can.
Do you get to do a lot of it now?
No, I haven't touched it in a good number of years. I did 2 paintings with that set. And it's not turpentine anymore that's used. It's odorless paint thinner. So
that's sad.
It's really not well, they call it odorless, but yeah, it was not nearly as scary as I was worried about as well. In terms of, I don't do a whole lot of painting, so I do acrylics. I did discover last year slow drying acrylics, which I've taken an immediate like to.
Is it more like oil paints because it doesn't
it
dry
is
fast? Cool. Yeah.
Okay.
I've struggled with acrylics.
Yes, Sydney Cart in the chat says if you add slow dry medium to acrylics, it acts similar to oil for a better price, which
I should try that.
That's probably what the slow drying acrylics that I got were, just paint with added slow dry medium. But
I wonder if they would work too with like inks for printmaking.
Possibly.
I don't know. It's fun to kind of mix and match things and Figure out what works.
It is. How many extra art supplies do you have in your home?
I'm not going to answer that question. I plead the fifth.
All right, fair enough. That's the beauty of digital art, though.
Yeah.
Doesn't take up any space at all.
Except for
unless you want it to.
Amount of hard drive space it takes for all this stuff that I've done. I had the same iPad for a number of years, and I loved it. And I just like had to upgrade to a bigger one with more space because I was constantly hitting that space. I was just like filling up the hard drive over and over and over again, and then I would have to like manually move all my files onto my into Dropbox. Because Procreate files take up so much room, and like if you want to like capture your process and do like the video recording, like that takes up exponentially more room, and so I like have that off by default, but sometimes I like want to have it on, and it just takes up so much space, and so I finally just like got a bigger iPad, and I haven't regretted it. It's been a nice upgrade for sure. But I hope I don't have to upgrade this one for a while.
Yeah, likewise.
Yeah. But
well, let's
take up more space
see.
with brushes.
Oh, that's true. That's true. So, chat, does anybody have any other questions for Mel? Where can we find your art online?
I mostly just post it on my Instagram, which is like my actual face Instagram. What am I?
I don't know why I'm not following you on Instagram. There we go. Just hang on to that one for later as well. Any other comments about art in general, Solstice, this banner art?
It was really fun. I would love to do again. I find that like banner art cover is cool too because it like combines both like art and design, which I like. And is also like making me want to figure out a better approach to. I don't know if like there's a better app that I could use on my iPad for like some vector drawing could be good. I would like love to do some vector drawing with an actual like Apple Pencil rather than just a mouse. And so I haven't quite figured out like what the best app for that is. I tried Adobe Fresco and hated it. I might actually give the iPad Illustrator app a try. It's just like a different like way to conceptualize it since you're like essentially just drawing points. So
have you ever tried Clip Studio Paint?
Oh, I tried it on my desktop, I think. I didn't have enough space on my old iPad to get it to actually run. I like installed it and opened it and it was like, nah, nope, can't do it, bye. So I can give it another try. I know it's like the like professional older sibling to Procreate really. But does it do vector as well?
So it is mainly a raster program, but you can do vector layers.
Okay.
Particularly, you can do vector line art.
Okay, that's cool. That would be really useful.
It's extremely useful. So yeah, I'm kind of surprised that Procreate doesn't have that. But yeah, you can go in and adjust the points individually. You can adjust the line thickness, the way it curves. You can just redraw it and it'll just, change where the nodes are and everything. It has, for my art, it's turned out to be extremely handy because I tend to go with a very precise lines. So
nice.
Definitely worth looking into.
That sounds like it'd be really useful, especially like like you can't typeset for shit in Procreate.
Oh.
It's just like you can't. So if Clip Studio is anything more like Illustrator in its type capabilities, that would be really useful. Because I'm not like super keen on this like jumping back and forth between the two that I've been doing lately.
Yeah. I haven't played around too much with the type, but Clip Studio Paint was originally designed specifically for doing comics, manga.
Okay.
So there's definitely a bit more control over type in that regard.
Cool. Yeah, and I know it also like has a 3D library, which is pretty handy.
It is incredibly handy, and I've been using Clip Studio Paint for about 2.5 years. I ended up buying it after getting a 2-year free trial, and I have tons of brushes on it. The brushes, unbelievable. And I'm not talking about like watercolor paint, that type of brushes. I mean, boop, one stroke, there's the lace along your character's dress.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So Sydney Cart is asking in the chat, what is a 3D library? And Clip Studio Paint actually has a 3D visualizer built into it. So you can take a 3D character, pull it in, put it in whatever pose you want, and then just draw over it. Or, in the library, the Clip Studio Paint library, there's all sorts of free as well as paid models. Anything you could want. Props, locations, furniture, objects. Yes.
You can like build a scene and like have your background there and just like trace out the lines, which is great if you're bad at perspective, which is, I'm not great at perspective. I use Magic
I'm waiting
Poser
for the video.
a lot.
I really liked Magic Poser. That is a great external tool for posing characters, and pretty similar to the modeler in Clip Studio Paint. It's fairly simple, but you can change the direction the lighting is coming from, the strength of the lighting, move the character in any direction. Certainly, I have done some art prior to getting Clip Studio Paint in which I literally, printed out a screenshot of Magic Poser and just drew over it.
Yeah. I export a lot of like poses from Magic Poser if I can't find a good reference. It's it runs into the like any issue that like any 3D source will, is that like you don't get like kind of the feeling of movement that you get from like a reference of like a real person. But it's great for like just getting it down. And especially like if you're like positioning like two characters, you get that perspective better. You get kind of the like interaction better. There's things I would love to improve about it, but it's free, but it's like the free one is basic. There's a premium one. I think it was like $10 when I got it, which pretty much gets you everything you need, and it's $10 once, and that's it. And then there's like a master level subscription, which is not worth it at all.
Got it.
I don't want anything on subscription, so the like pay like $10 once and call it a day was really nice for me.
Fair enough. I know Clip Studio Paint has a pay once option. But I think the subscription that I ended up continuing to subscribe to is like $25 a year.
Okay.
For 2 devices. So I've got it on my iPad as well as my computer.
Yeah, I should definitely check it back out now that I have an iPad that'll actually run it. I do remember being like, okay, this is a lot of UI. It's like very like Photoshop level of like UI. And like I do like how simple Procreate is.
Understandable.
Yeah. But sometimes you need a little complexity.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just a matter of learning new software, which is just like learning a new medium.
Yeah.
All right. Any final questions? Anyone? Any final thoughts from you, Mel?
I like art.
Yay! Is there a past DoD banner that really stands out to you that you enjoyed?
Ooh, I gotta go look at them. They're always so good. I feel like there was one last year where I was like, oh my god, this is so dope. Oh, the free month in 2025. Yeah, this one was super cool.
DoD Art Hang Night? I think that has to happen. All right. Was that one of Pokerus's banner arts? Oh yes. Oh my gosh, that one was incredible.
That's like, I want to poster that.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's fun, like how many, like every take is so different. Oh yeah, the party month one was great too.
Yeah, I had been hoping to speak with Pokerus, aka Pato, for my first banner art stream, but unfortunately timing didn't work out. But he has done a number of free month banners.
I feel like that would be the hardest concept for me personally. Like I need I need a theme, really. I need some constraints.
Yeah, and especially considering he's done, I can think of offhand at least 4 or 5 free months. So he's had to do those, that many times. Yeah, that's pretty great with the Bowser. Oh my gosh, why can't I think of the word? Piñata. The mushroom cake.
Yeah, this year's free one was also super cool.
Oh, I know. The artist rotation in DoD is just fantastic.
Stellar.
I didn't even notice until just now that it's pinned the tail on the Yoshi there. That's hilarious. Oh, yes. Best free month. Andromeda's lovely placeholder free month art.
Aw, free Kirby.
I would totally take a free Kirby. As long as he wouldn't swallow. Andromeda, you keep saying that, and we keep saying it looks fantastic.
It's so cute.
It is. Like, legitimately, it is a delightful little piece of art. All right. Well, thank you for being here, Mel, and putting up with my rambling and
thank you.
Diverting to different topics. And thank you very much to Evil Sonic behind the scenes for taking care of all of the technical stuff. And hope everybody's had a good time. And see you around in the Discord. And don't forget to submit your tracks for this month card games.
I gotta actually do one. I gotta do one this month.
Yes. Can't wait. All right. Have a good evening, everyone.
Good night. Or morning or day or wherever you are. Time zones.
Yes.